Love's guiding light. The village of Braemoor lay nestled in a valley, its cottages cradled by rolling hills and dense forests. Life was simple there, but for one family, life had grown unbearably hard. A widowed father, Thomas, and his 8-year-old daughter, Clara, clung to each other like roots to soil after the sudden passing of Clara's mother 2 winters ago. Thomas worked long hours as a carpenter, crafting chairs, doors, and cribs for the villagers, but his heart remained shattered. Clara, a bright and curious child, often sat quietly in the workshop, sketching stars and lanterns on scraps of wood while her father worked in silence. As they navigate the hardships of winter, their bond strengthens, culminating in a poignant reminder that love can guide us even in the darkest times. "Papa," she asked one evening, her voice trembling with hesitation, "do you think Mama can see us from up there, in the stars?" Thomas paused, his calloused hands stilling over a plank of wood. He looked at her, his tired eyes softening. "I believe she does, sweetheart," he said, forcing a smile. "And I think she misses us just as much as we miss her." Clara nodded solemnly, then returned to her sketching. That night, after she had fallen asleep, Thomas went to her bedside. He gently brushed a strand of hair from her face and whispered, "I'll make it better for you, my little star. I promise." The next morning, Thomas had an idea. He began crafting something extraordinary, a lantern unlike any the village had ever seen. He carved delicate stars into its wooden frame, painted it with gold leaf to catch the light, and inscribed it with a message. "Even in darkness, love will guide you home, you." When he presented it to Clara, her eyes lit up like the morning sun. "It's beautiful, Papa," she exclaimed, hugging him tightly. "This lantern," Thomas explained, "is our way to talk to Mama. When we light it, she'll see it, no matter how far she is. And when you feel scared or lonely, just look at its light and know she's with us." That night, they lit the lantern together and placed it by the window. Clara sat for hours, watching its glow flicker against the stars, her small hands clasped in prayer. Winter came early that year, harsher than anyone in Braemoor had seen. The snow piled high, and the wind howled through the trees. Work was scarce, and Thomas struggled to provide. Their once warm home grew colder by the day as firewood dwindled. One evening, as Thomas tucked Clara into bed, she handed him a small drawing, a picture of their family, with her mother smiling brightly beside them. "Mama says we'll be okay," Clara whispered, her breath visible in the frosty air. Thomas's chest tightened. He nodded, though he could barely hold back his tears. "Yes, sweetheart, we'll be okay." The next morning, Thomas made a difficult decision. He bundled Clara in every warm garment they owned and set off through the snow to find work in a neighboring town. The journey was treacherous, but he couldn't let his daughter starve. "Stay close to the lantern," he told her before he left. "It will keep you safe until I return." Days passed, and the snowstorm grew fiercer. Clara stayed by the lantern, feeding it the last of their oil and praying for her father's safe return. But as the storm raged on, the oil ran out, and the lantern's light flickered and died. Clara's hope wavered. She curled up by the window, clutching her drawing and whispering to the darkness, "Please, Mama, bring Papa home." Thomas fought through the blizzard, his body weak and frostbitten, carrying a sack of provisions he had earned by repairing a miller's broken cart. Every step felt like a mountain, but thoughts of Clara kept him moving. When he finally reached the cottage, he found the lantern cold and dark. Panic surged through him as he burst inside. "Clara!" he called, his voice cracking. He found her asleep by the window, pale and trembling from the cold. Wrapping her in his arms, he wept, whispering, "I'm here, my little star. I'm here." Clara stirred, her small voice weak. "Papa, the lantern went out. I thought you wouldn't find me." Thomas held her tighter. "Even without the lantern, I will always find you. Always." The storm passed, and Thomas worked tirelessly to keep Clara warm and fed. Once spring arrived, he rebuilt the lantern, stronger and brighter than before. This time, he taught Clara how to keep it lit, no matter what. As the seasons changed, so did their lives. Thomas found steadier work, and Clara grew into a bright young woman. But the lantern remained in their window, a constant reminder of their love and resilience. Years later, when Clara was grown and Thomas had grown frail, she found him sitting by the window, staring at the lantern. "Do you think Mama still sees it?" she asked, echoing her childhood question. Thomas smiled, his voice soft. "I know she does, and soon I'll be with her again, keeping it lit for you." When Thomas passed, Clara lit the lantern every night, its glow a symbol of the unbreakable bond between father and daughter. And in her heart, she knew the truth. Even in the darkest of nights, love would always guide her home. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more guys.